Alright guys, welcome back to the Blender Basics Part 2. We're going to start on that low poly tree. Alright, and we're back. We're going to go ahead and get started on making that low poly tree. We're going to keep the default cube that is there, and if you also look to the bottom right hand corner, you'll notice that there is a section down here that if I press a key like G, it will let you know which keys I'm hitting. It'll also let you know the mouse clicks, if it's the right, middle, left, scrolling, or anything like that. Figure it'd be easier to follow along. Certain keys I will do like last time and keep them listed so they're always there to refer back to. Now, one thing before we move forward I want to go over is the fact that you need a numpad. If you don't have a numpad on a laptop, you can go and get an external one and hook into the laptop. Get them fairly cheap at places like Walmart and Target. Numpad you'll use quite often. If you hit the 1 key, it'll put you looking at it on the y-axis on the left side. If you can hit Control 1, it will move you on the other side of the y-axis. If you hit 3, it'll put you on the x-axis, and if you hit Control 3, it'll put you on the other side of the axis. If you hit 7, it'll put you at the top view looking down on object, and if you hit Control 7, it puts you at the bottom looking up at the object. Now, if you hit 4, it will rotate it to the left. If you hit 6, it will rotate it to the right. If you hit 8, it will rotate it up. If you hit 2, it will rotate it down. If you hit the 9 key, it will rotate it in a 180. If you hit the 5 key, it will change it from user perspective to user orthographic. Now, I won't go into too much of what the difference between those is until later, but right now, like I said, we're going to keep it simple. Now, look up to the top left, and if you are in user orthographic, just hit the 5 key to put it back into user perspective. Now, what I want to start out doing is let's hit the 3 key on your numpad. Look at it from the x-axis. And as you can tell, the Y separates it midway. What we want to do is, while we're in object mode, select the cube, hit the G key for grab, and hit Z to move it on that Z axis. And we want to put it right above that Y axis like it's sitting on it, like it's part of the ground and it's sitting on it. And leave it there. So we'll left click, let Blender know to drop it right there. Now, once we get that object sitting right on that Y axis, what I want to do is I kind of want to rotate a little bit so I'm looking down at it. And I want to hit tab to go into edit mode. Once I'm into edit mode, I want to hit 3 at the top of the keyboard and go into face select mode. And I want to select that top face. Once we have that face selected, I want to hit the E key to extrude. As you can tell, I can move it up and I can move it down. Now, for this, I just want to move it up the Z axis. And I want to stretch it on up out of my view, and I'm going to drop it about right there, zoom out, and there we go. You also notice right here, before we go much further, that my object is way bigger than the camera or anything else. So what I want to do is I'm going to hit tab, go right back in the object mode, and I'm going to scale that down some. Scale it down to about right there. I'm pretty happy with that. And what I want to do is I want to hit the 3 key to look at it from the x-axis. Once I hit the 3 key, you notice that now the object doesn't sit on that y-axis. So now I got to hit G, Z, and bring it back down to the y-axis so it looks like it's sitting. Now, the reason it done that, when I hit the scale key, it meant that it was scaling it from every axis, not just a specific one. So Blender also scaled it on the z-axis, which was making it shorter, and the y-axis and the x-axis. Now, I could have hit scale Control Z, and it would have scaled it on every axis except Z, but we just hit scale and it scaled it on all the axes. Now, I'm going to go back in edit mode, hit that tab key, and I'm going to make that a little bit taller. So I'm going to hit E to extrude again, just to give us a few more vertices and everything to work with. And then I'm going to hit E to extrude again, just to give us some more. And I think that's pretty good. Now, what I want to do is I'll kind of rotate, and I want to grab this bottom face, and I want to scale it. So I'm going to hit S key to scale and scale it out. Now that looks like the base of the tree right as the roots go into the ground. Now we're not going to try to make too much detail. Again, it's low poly. This will look fine just as long as we get the idea of what's going on at the base of the tree. It's extruding out, it's getting fatter like actual trees do. Right here, I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to move up, kind of move down, look around in my viewport, and I'm going to put a loop cut in it. I'm going to hit Control R and I'm going to move it to my loop cut is here. And you notice that it's staying within that top section of the faces and not any of the other sections. I don't want to add more to it. I just want to keep it this one. I'm going to left click and then I'm going to kind of move it up right about here. And I'm going to start making some branches. What I want to do first is I want to make that top tip. So I'm going to hit E to extrude, and then I'm going to leave it right there, and then I'm going to hit S to scale to kind of make that a little skinnier, like that. And then I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to hit E to extrude, move it out here, and S to scale. And then I'm going to hit the R, and then I'm going to rotate it on the Y-axis, because you can tell the Y-axis is going towards us and out that way. And I want to rotate it on that one, so it rotates the direction that I need it to. Because if I rotate it on the X-axis, it's going to rotate it like towards me and you. And I don't. I want it to rotate to the left and to the right of the way that I'm looking. So if I hit Y, after I hit that rotate key, you notice it's rotating strictly on the Y-axis. And then I want to extrude that again. And then I'm going to scale it just a little bit. And then I'm going to hit rotate Y again. I'm going to extrude that again. And then I'm going to hit rotate and extrude. As you notice, it's starting to look like a branch or a trunk. Now I want to do the same thing on this face. I want to hit E to extrude, pull it out, scale it down some, hit rotate Y, extrude, rotate Y, extrude, rotate Y, and then I'm going to scale that down here. You notice I didn't scale this one down as much as I did the other ones. It's looking alright. Well, now we'll clean this up later and kind of round this out a little bit more. But for right now, this is a good base model. Now, what I want to do now is I want to come in here and I want to put some more loop cups. So I'm going to hit Control R and I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to move it up a little bit. And what I want to do is I want to bring a branch right here. So I want to hit 3, go into face mode, hit that face, and then I'm going to hit E to extrude, pull it out. I'm going to scale that down, rotate on the X-axis. There we go. Extrude, scale. And that'll be fine right there. And then I'm gonna do one. Let's do it off of that face. Let's hit extrude, and then hit rotate X, and then extrude, rotate X, and I'm gonna scale that. Whoops. Then I'm gonna scale that down. And then I'm going to extrude again, and then I'm going to scale that down. And here's a tip. I want to scale this down right here because I don't like that that's as big as it is. But I don't want to hit 2 and select all these by hitting shift. I don't want to do this because this is very time consuming. I can, if you feel more comfortable doing that, do that. Hit scale. I can scale it like that. But I'm going to right click to undo that. And what I want to do is I want to select this one. And then I want to hit Shift Alt. And then click the one edge. And it will grab all the edges for me. So I'm going to scale it down to where I feel comfortable. And I kind of like that. That looks good. That looks pretty neat. And we'll keep that. So this is the trunk of the tree. We're going to keep it like that. Now we can smooth this out, and we'll do that later after we put the leaves and everything else on it. But for right now, I like this. I'm happy with this. I actually might take this face right here. Whoops. Hit 3 to go into face mode. Grab that face. I'm going to scale it down some more because it's just not quite what I want. I want it kind of pointy like the rest of them. That one's good. I like that. I'm happy with that. Now, if you want, you can grab other faces. Like, you can come here to this face, and you extrude that out if you want. And scale it down. And then you can extrude that out some more and scale it down. It's all about the way you want it. I can hit rotate Y, rotate that on the Y, extrude, bring that up. You can do whatever you need to do. Say you want to hit Control R, put your loop cut right here, pull this down because you don't like this. The way this is, pull it down there pretty far. Once you get it down there to where you need it, you can hit S to scale it, and it'll make it a little bit smaller. Just play with those tools. Say I want to move this one because I don't like the way it's back here so far. I want to kind of bring it over this way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go 2, and then I'm going to select this edge, and I'm going to hit Shift Alt and select this other edge, and it'll select all of them, and I want to move it across the X-axis. So I'm going to hit G, X, and just move it to get it shaped the way I want to do it. Actually doing that, I kind of want to do the same thing with this one. So I'm going to hit Shift Alt, and I had to double click that because if you notice, let's go back into that. If I select this edge, if I select this edge and hit Shift Alt and then select it again, it'll unselect it. So then I got to hit Shift Alt and then select that edge once again. Select all of them. I'm going to scale that down some, and then I'm going to hit G, X, and grab it on the X-axis. And I kind of like that look better. But do whatever you want to do. Add more branches to it until you feel comfortable with it. And you got to make sure you're happy at the end of the day with your model. Now, what I want to do is, before we go anywhere else, I want to be able to add some textures to this and give it a color. So what I want to do is, if you look up here at the right hand corner, if you hover over this is called the solid view. If you hover over this is the material preview, and this one here is the render preview. Now, before you go into render preview, so it don't slow your system down too much, let's go over here at this little thing right here. It looks kind of like a camera, and right here where it says render engine, there's a drop down box. You can click that, and you'll notice that you've got Eevee, which mine's already in Eevee, and cycles. A lot of the times, if you first open up Blender and you ain't never messed with any of the settings on it, it automatically will start you out in cycles. Now we'll put it in cycles, and if I go into the rendered viewport, you'll notice it's slow moving, and you got a lot of noise. And if I move around, there's a lot of noise. It's also a lot of work on your computer, your graphics card, and everything. So I go into Eevee. It's a lot easier, as you notice, and Eevee's getting better every time we turn around. So I most of the time use Eevee all the time, especially when modeling and trying to get everything right to be able to see it. And then once everything's done, I'll go back into cycles and then tweak some things. Now the first thing we need to do is, let's hit tab and go in object mode. Let's make sure that it's selected. And what you want to do is you want to come down here till you see this little ball with the checkered coloring on it. And if you hover, it says material properties, and you hit that. You notice here we got a material, and I'm just going to go ahead and name this, double click, and I'm going to name this trunk for the trunk of the tree. And if we go down here to where it says base color, I select that. You have a color wheel, and we can move it around. And once you start moving around, you see the base color of this starts to change. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get it right in here about this orange for right now. I may change it in a little bit. And grab this one right here. For if I move it up, it makes it brighter. If I move it down, it'll darken that color. And I'm going to move it to a brown that I feel comfortable with or like. And that'll be the color of my tree trunk. Now, if you notice, you got a lot of reflection off of this color. If I move it around, you notice the light's beating off of it, and you can see it reflecting. If you come over here, back into these settings, and you scroll down, and we find, where is it? Roughness. Here we go, roughness. and we up that value, it'll take down that reflection. Now you don't want to take it all the way out, because you got to remember everything reflects a little bit of light. So I like to leave it in there some, not a lot. I don't like to max out the roughness completely, which you can if it's your preferred style, but me personally, I like to leave a little bit of reflection there, not much, just to kind of give it that little bit of, like, the light's kind of bouncing off of it or shining on it, and gives them highlights. I think it works a little better, but to each is their own. Now that we've got some material on this, I think this is going to be it for tonight. Now the last thing I want to show you is how to save this. Now what you want to do is you want to go up here in your left hand corner and hit File, like any other program. Go to Save and select where you want to save it. I'm going to save mine to the desktop, and I'm going to give this a name, and I'm going to name it Low Poly Tree, and I'm going to hit Save Blender File. Now I can close Blender. Once Blender's closed, I can come right here, and there it is, Low Poly Tree. So when I'm ready to start on this model again and continue work, it's right there on the desktop. Now you may have somewhere specific that you want to save these models that you're working on. That's fine, I do. But for this one, I'm going to leave it right there on the desktop, so when I go to shoot the next video, it's right there and ready to rock and roll. But hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, please leave me a like and a subscribe, and if you don't mind, maybe leave me some comments and for some feedback so that maybe I can get y'all better tutorials. Thank you.